all the raids reset. No, Jerry, they reset in 41 minutes. You know that. Well, you don't know that, but... So you guys want to sit here with me? Hello. Yeah, this is shitty. Because now, 41 minutes where I can't fucking do anything, really, you know? Until all the shit resets. I guess we can do some battlegrounds? I just had me a plate of, baby, actually. I decided to eat a baby today. No, I had a plate of broccoli with chicken. Ugh. Have you ever seen how they make, like, real, like, mandarin chicken and orange chicken and all that stuff? They coat it in so much sauce that, like, it's what makes it taste super good. But, like, it's hard calorie-wise to eat, like, you know, like, real sesame chicken. If you've ever seen it, like, we're gonna drip sauce dripping off of it. You guys know what sauce is, right? You're not very socialized, are you? You guys know what sauce is, right? No, that's the joke. The joke here is that no, I'm not actually. There's no joke. You guys think I'm funny? Oh man. Somebody gets my sense of humor. Tokyo Subway, honey. Tokyo Subway. We have you at about a Boston Red Sox game. We need you at about a Tokyo Subway, you know. You're awfully loud right now. Right. Oh, but I love her. This imaginary hypothetical woman that lives in my head, right? She won't ever be, she won't always be imaginary. You know what I mean? Where's my necklace? I have a hit necklace somewhere here. And let's play fucking Blue's Clues, guys. Guide me to, because I have, my eyes are terrible. Where in my bags are, is, was my necklace. My goddamn my little black medical book, right? Where the fuck is it? In the story of my life, man, I'm like, you know, at some point in time, you're like, if you ever scroll through this, you're probably like, the random guy who pretends that he's got a bunch of imaginary friends, which I do. You can't tell me that I'm not allowed to have imaginary friends. But if I could have someone direct a movie about my life, it would be a pretty close toss-up between, like, Quentin Tarantino and, like, Christopher Nolan. The thing about Quentin Tarantino is that his movies are awesome, but not always realistic, right? But some of them are, you know what I mean? Like, Inglourious Bastards was a bit... I guess it could be a true story, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Some of them aren't, though. Although, Pulp Fiction... Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what point I'm trying to drive home right now. But the point is that... Yeah, I like his movies. Christopher Nolan, though, has a tendency of making movies that are super awesome. But I'm not that interesting. And I still don't know where my necklace is. And no one is helping me, so... Go through one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no, not there. There it is. Oh, there it is. Next to the void crystals. Oh, I was right next to the void crystals. PvP trinket. Also somewhere else. But I just had a whole plate of chicken and broccoli and rice. Oh no, it's my bag. Really now? My PvP gear is pretty shitty. Because I haven't gotten points for like the last month. I just, I've not really been worrying about this shit. I'm here to... What was the Rowdy Roddy Piper line? Oh, like you don't know it. He was my favorite wrestler. Still is, because I don't think he's really dead, but he's certainly my favorite wrestler. I look like shit right now. I know that. I look like total shit. Alright. And the icon is the other thing. Alright, now. I might take Season 2 more seriously. I just... I don't really know. This is not like the best way to try and play like high-end arenas or anything. But I posed my hypothetical. I don't know if it's a hypothetical, but my theory that Elon Musk built a time machine at some point in time, and that's why we have the Mandela effect. Because like if you quite literally like no really like if you had a time machine and your only ability was to like leave clues as to that it's actually you that has the time machine, right? What would you do? Like it would be like, well, here's where I'm from. Let's make some weird shit happen there, you know. And Elon is from South Africa, and the way that Mandela effect gets its name is because there are two categories of people. I don't know to what degree, one percentage or whatever of the people, but there's a category or whatever group of people that believes and remembers Nelson Mandela's funeral took place in like the early 90s, I think, right? And I'll watch it on TV or the late 80s or whatever. And then there's the other variety, myself, right, where I remember him. I don't remember the first funeral. You know, I remember this most recent one with the crazy person running around doing sign language, which is odd also, right? Very strange thing to have happen. Um, but you would think if you had a time machine and like like you couldn't go back in time and just fucking dick suck punch Hitler in the face, right? You couldn't do that. You're not allowed to because that fucks with the timeline too much, right? But punch him right in his cock holster, right? Punch him in his cock holster. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on TikTok. I got banned for something, but I can't. Come on, really? I can't talk shit about Hitler. Well, anyway, you aren't allowed to do that because it would mess up the timeline too much. But what could you do, you know? And this could be the plot of a movie that me and Christopher Nolan can sit and write and have a sleepover. That would be like, yeah, you'd be allowed to like, there's like a time law thing, and like you're allowed to interfere, but to, like only to a certain degree. And like what it would look like is something weird, like the shit we see with the Mandela effect. People, or that could be a shifting of timelines, or like it could be a consequence of time travel, right? How we all remember these things as being like slightly different than what they actually are. So either at some point in time, either him or one of his kids, makes sense, builds a time machine and is leaving themselves clues to the future, which I believe that makes sense because, like I've said before, they've proven that at least as far as information is concerned, it kind of is one of those weird things that kind of circumvents like relativity as far as time travel is concerned, like Einstein-Rosen bridges or whatever, these like portals through space-time that Like you couldn't send a person at first, but you could send information, or you could send radio waves or information in the form of radio waves, and then you could figure out a way to influence people's behavior with radio waves, and then you could like steer people to do, or if you could come up with a way to erase somebody's memory with radio waves, that might be why everybody remembers Nelson Mandela's funeral is slightly different than how it actually occurred. Is another possibility. You know what I mean? But I'm not like, yeah, how we doing, guys? Where's my mage armor? But that's the theory behind it. Now, what like where reality and science fiction kind of converge, though, those kind of make the best. Like Inception was a good like where reality and science fiction kind of meet. You know what I mean? And you have like this thing that sort of looks like there is some science to it, but a bunch of science that we don't understand. And then the same thing with David Bowie playing Nikola Tesla in The Prestige was a lot of science with this unknown science that we don't fully understand that would make some of these more impossible things possible. So this idea would be a good time travel movie, because the goddamn Time Machine movie was fucking terrible, dude. I liked it when just watching the guy's wife get ran over by a horse was about the apex of the entire film. I hope I spoiled this. Like one of the few movies I'm like, I hope I spoiled the movie for you, because it save yourself the time. There's a whole scene, a whole part of the movie where he like it turns into like John Carter on Mars. You know, he's like fighting fucking cave people and shit. You're like, whatever. Yeah, one of the worst movies ever. Total fucking monument of shit to filmmaking. But the the point would be make an awesome time travel movie. Yeah. I guess Interstellar is a kind of a time travel space movie, but I just did not like Interstellar. Maybe it's because it starred Sinbad and everybody was like, "Shut the fuck up." Everybody's like, "Yeah, wasn't Sinbad just a weird person to cast as the lead in the movie Interstellar?" Right. You guys don't remember it that way? Fuck, man. Really? No, I remember. I have a VHS copy of Interstellar in my garage that has Sinbad. You guys didn't have, really? You guys don't have that? You know, Sinbad was such a weird role to cast as um, whatever the guy's name is, John Connor, whatever his name was, the character from the fucking movie. He's got a thing that turns people into chickens. We're like pretty uncontested, it looks like, because these guys are doing their own thing, it looks like. Come on now. Just let him go, unabated. No, keep him healed. No, don't fucking do it. I knew it. Fuck. You're that guy, aren't you? I haven't played PvP in a while, so I'm probably fucking rusty. Right, so like if you could, here's the thing though, like I don't know, at some point in time all the atomic bomb stuff started off as a theory too, you know. But you think like a Dan Brown novel where these clues in popular media and all that stuff where some people really do read those books and think that, like, oh no, there's like a real Da Vinci Code, right? Well, if that's the case, and like your only ability through altering time has nothing to, like, you can't punch Hitler in his cock holster. We already discussed that. As much as we want to, as much as someone should have. Why didn't anybody ever just punch that guy right in the shit? Normal people get into fights. You know, it's hard to believe that nobody ever beat the shit out of Hitler. I mean, in all honesty, right? It's kind of weird. He probably wasn't very agreeable, you know, and it's just weird to think that he never got beat up by anybody or anything. But the thing would be like, okay, so either is the Mandela effect a consequence of time travel, or is it him actually doing something, right? I'll probably just ask him one of these days. I'll just ask, hey Elon, remember that time? Like, what would you do, right? Like, other than the stuff that I already said, that what would you do if you had a time machine? You know, but if you could figure it out, right? You never know, man. I'm telling you. I think there's some truth to it. Would you please let me cast a sheep here? Thank you. But he is the most likely candidate to fucking build one of the things, right? He's already putting stuff in space. You know, it stands to reason that something like a time machine might require putting things in orbit, right? He's already doing that. Computers, rocket science, AI. I mean, he's the most likely candidate to build a goddamn time machine, you know? But I thought it'd be a cool idea for a movie where, like, these two. I know, but it sounds so much like The Prestige. That's the thing, right? Like, no, these two scientists create time machines and they try to, like, frame each other in time. So, like, they try and alter the timeline so the other person can't create their time machine. Then they're, like, the ultimate inventor of all time, right? So the history is, like, random, like, lightning strikes and shit burning down and things exploding at weird times. And, like, oh, it's a really weird time for, like, a ball bearing factory to just light itself on fire or whatever, you know? And it turns out these guys are trying to sabotage each other through time, these inventors, right? So the other one can't create their time machine because they're rivals or whatever. Was one of the ideas I thought would be an all right movie. So, like, the history books are like all these weird events, like an unexplained fire here, or this, that, and the other thing there, an explosion at this place then, or whatever, you know. Like, and then you find out, like, oh, that's like, oh, well, there was a scientist working there or whatever. Isn't this the plot to Idiocracy? Right? There must have been a scientist working there. And then, oh yeah, and then all these goddamn rockets, and then all these scientists getting fucking their heads blown off and stuff. I think, in all honesty, man, I'm pretty sure Elon builds a time machine. I'm kind of convinced myself. And it's more true than the Earth is flat. I know that shit, right? Come on now. I'm like, oh, wow, now that I think about it, he might actually have built the fucking time machine at some point in time. It's all making way too much sense, right? Now I think about it, I'm like, yeah, all these missing scientists. I'm like, wait, that's actually, like, we can open the newspaper. That's what it says on, like, the front page. Yeah, you got this weird shit happening, disasters in weird places. Man, I don't know. I think I stumbled across it, man. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. If not him, one of his kids. Like I said, there's a very high chance that one of his kids will end up being an astronaut. It only makes sense, right? Right. Um, and I don't. He seems like the type of guy who's not just gonna let all 50 or 60 of his kids, like, recess into, like, into the shadows and not be public figures. Like, he's got a couple of them that he parades around all the time, doesn't he? Teaching them how to speak gibberish and stuff. So yeah, I think there's a high chance that Elon builds a time machine, or if not, I build a time machine and I'm trying to frame Elon for a bunch of stuff, trying to blame it on Elon, right? It's either the plot to my movie or it's not, right? Anyway, it would be a good idea for a movie, though, right? The time travels, dueling time travelers, like dueling banjos, like. I mean, in all honesty, if it follows the cadence of that song, if you've ever seen the dueling banjos, are you autistic? Anyway, and like you see like events in history, and it's like dueling banjos between two people that have time machines. Like in all honesty, obviously Elon's is like synagogues getting burned down and all that all that stuff, right? And then here's my attempt to do the same, right, or whatever, and the rest is history, right? Like dueling banjos through time, right? What's the next thing gonna be? Yeah, right. I have improved counterspell too. And I'm like, I'm not. Look, I don't contain the answer. Well, that's not true. So we're not gonna talk about it for now. Right? That's not true. So, but the thing is, though, is it would make a good movie. But the thing I think about all the movies that I appreciate the most are like the ones that I come up with that I think are interesting are like they all have like they all are inspired by Christopher Nolan movies, right? So the two twin brothers that go to a town and murder people and use the other's absence as an alibi or whatever, and then he murders his twin brother at the end, and he writes a suicide note and he gets away with it, right? He confesses to all the murders, writes a suicide note, and then fucking kills his brother and makes it look like a suicide, right? That would be an awesome movie. That and then now the dueling time travelers would be cool, where they try to sabotage each other through time, and it's like these weird events like we see unfolding, right? Like, oh, another fucking time travel scientist disappeared, or his head exploded, or he fucking whatever. He threw himself into a wood chipper for some reason. So that would be the plot of the movie. Really now? Shit. It's been forever since I've played Frost, so I'm like rusty as can be. Oh, and they capped on that one? Shit, Jerry. God damn it. Right. fucking mind-numbing poison from snakes. Goddamn skeins. Well, now. Oh, Jerry. He tried to heal, but he couldn't to heal. Where's my goddamn water elemental? Come on now. Leave me the fuck alone, dude. Anyway. Whatever. Sweet and sour flavored fucking chapstick is what that is. Season this where I got this goddamn keyboard on my thing here. It keeps clicking whenever there isn't and like drags everything around. Well, it keeps clicking when I'm not clicking, basically. Isn't that awesome? So I don't know if they should be rivals or if they're just playing jokes on each other. People like rivalry, so probably that. I have built the best time machine ever. Elon Musk is a loser. His time machine sucks dick compared to mine. I am the time scientist. He is the imposter and an asshole. Golly, dude. Got enough guys here? Don't fucking bash me now. Where did all my mana potions go? Where the fuck is the flag? He just dropped it. Where is it? Tinker, Tom, get on the goddamn cap. Kept the flag. Why was it was returned to it's dropped and then was returned to its base. Yeah, no, fell through the fucking ground. or something, right? That's weird. God damn it. How did I take all my mana to do that? I guess got on his pets, so fuck it. That's a druid. Give me. Oh, I got a fucking enhancement shaman on me too. All the shit, man. Get the fuck away. Didn't hit him. Why did they not hit him? Right on target with him, but whatever. Anyway. Well, it appears that I'm 10 minutes away from having something to do. So I'll be on later.